What is enlightenment? He's seriously going to, I'm just going to shift my camera here. He's seriously going to talk about enlightenment. Yeah, I'm seriously going to talk about enlightenment. First of all, let's get rid of all the cliches, all the dogma. Oh, only the Buddha and Jesus can do this. No one else can do it. That's not what they said, so rubbish to that. Oh, enlightenment is this thing that we must put on a pedestal and no one can attain, and same thing. Let's get rid of that. Enlightenment. The ability to enlighten, to become lighter. That could be lighter in luminescence or lighter in weight, right? The ultimate enlightenment is when you dissolve your body and you become nothing. Jesus didn't do that. Buddha didn't do that, as he died on his deathbed and then he was carried away, and it's all written. And with Jesus, oh, well, he died on the cross. Not according to the Gnostic texts, he didn't. He got a substitute, and, you know, that's religious stuff. I can't be bothered to go there. Enlightenment is about ego death and dissolving the ego. Okay. If you dissolve the ego, you basically become like someone with dementia or Alzheimer's. And I'm not saying that, I'm saying that literally, because if you have zero, absolute zero ego, you have no power of thought, you have no power of control. So that's not enlightenment. Enlightenment is the ability to choose to leave your body and therefore live forever in another dimension. Okay, so that would be astral projecting. And then once you're in astral projection, cutting that silver cord, therefore you leave your body physically dies, and you possibly stay in that astral projection realm. Now perhaps we might be getting somewhere close to what the scriptures and texts are actually talking about. Whether you believe it or not, Sadhguru, one of the things he became famous for is he did this practice with his wife. They both went up into the state. His wife said she wasn't coming back and left, and he said, I've got to come back, or whatever he said, and he came back. Physically, she died. There was a big investigation about it. It was one of the things that made him world famous. So did his wife become enlightened by choosing not to stay here? So does enlightenment mean choosing the time you leave this life? Much like in the Matrix, where he takes the red pill and he is basically deleted from the system and appears in another body outside the system. Is that enlightenment? Well, if you follow the movie, was he enlightened by leaving the system? Well, he just got stuck in another system, didn't he? But it could be. Because it could be something else there. But of course we don't know. So how enlightened is it to follow something without knowledge? Well, that's belief, that's trust. But enlightenment isn't belief and trust, it's fully understanding. So what is this becoming lighter in luminescence or weight? When you awaken your Kundalini, when you raise Shakti, when you connect to Shiva, when the secrets of the universe that all the scriptures talk about, when you actually experience them for yourself, that is quite enlightening in itself. It's what we do in the trainings I offer. It's what Shaktipat is all about. It is about showing the student those understandings. This is what we do. Some people go further than others, but it's what we do. And when you experience and you sit connected to consciousness, and you start to understand all these dogmatic sayings of reality is illusion, illusion is reality, nothing exists, all these things that people blab out and really don't have any understanding, and they get trapped in spiritual ego and they go around saying it to people and blah, 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 blah. When you actually experience these things, and you understand what they mean, without nuances, without complexities, you can take that to the level of simply connecting, receiving visions, receiving intuitions, levels of the cities, staying here. You can take that to the level and combine it with astral projection and going higher, leaving the physical body, going deeper into these realms. Then you get those choices that the shamans of the West and the gurus of the East and the lamas of the East go through. Not just 2 or 3 specific individuals. Lots and lots and lots and lots of them go through it. But surely, the most enlightened state, at least here, in this realm, in this reality, in this lifetime, is to get to that point to be able to make that choice. Now, some people, it's quite funny, some people don't get to necessarily make that choice. And call these people bodhisattva, where they come back and they have to teach others. Get to that point, as literally said, sort of, very sorry, you can't go any further. You have to go back and help others reach that point. It happens. But we have a name for them. Sadguru, bodhisattva. There are many names for it. But to be able to get to that point in itself, of course, most people will not choose the red pill. They will get to that point and they will take an enlightened decision to say, now I know where this point is. I wish to keep experiencing what I'm experiencing in this reality until a point, I get to a point where I no longer wish to, then I will come back here. And this is why the shamans, the lamas, the gurus, the true ones, tend to live a nice and long life. And then when they're older, at a time of their choosing, they're like, okay, now I'm ready to go. Is that not the most enlightened state there is? When we get rid of all the cliches and all the dogma and all the pedestals and understanding what consciousness, the collective consciousness, is, understanding what they mean with the higher realms, with the lower realms. I'm not going to go into this too much because you need to experience this rather than be told this. And get the conceptual ideas, and not just have conceptual ideas, but have realities of things that are there that everybody goes through in one way, shape, or form. Everybody goes through the same thing once they get there. Whilst the experiences can vary slightly, they're all the same. That's why all the religions talk about the same things. For surely, enlightenment is about getting to that state of connectedness. It's not about ego death. It's not about spiritual ego. It's not about anything other than connecting to the higher consciousness and being. What do you think? Should we call enlightenment this thing that is beyond anyone's attainment and impossible, and anyone who claims to have been there is a faker and a false and a fraud and a... Of course, that is unless they can take other people there and show it to them. It's an interesting concept, isn't it? What do you think about this? If you understand, if you're able to understand that enlightenment isn't about clichés, it isn't about dogmas. It's about experiencing certain things, having certain realizations, making choices based on that. And then, as they say in Taoism, the true Taoist, once they experience an awakening, once they connect to the Tao, they don't go and live in a temple or in a cave in the mountains. They still stay living in the city. They do not dress differently. They do not act differently. They live within the city, within these states. You might not want to live in a major city anymore. You might live in a smaller town or a village, but stay connected to life and stay connected to the Tao. That's what a true Taoist is. Some interesting ideas, aren't they? So what do you think enlightenment is? I'm not asking you to recite dogma or cliches, or we all know that nonsense. What do you think enlightenment is? Write it down in the comments below. See if we can put something into words. Because true enlightenment, I've described around it. I have not described it in itself. Because you cannot describe the Tao. You cannot put true consciousness, true enlightenment into words, because if you put it into words, it's not true. It is an experience. To experience either as a one-off thing at first, but to sit and be connected to for as long as you wish to be here, and then choose to go on further. A living experience of a certain level of consciousness. Share this with whoever you think will find this useful. If you wish to experience this further, come and take a training with me, theawakenedenergy.com, or just practice. Just watch my channel. Listen to the things I say, because some people, oh, well, you're a fraud, all you do is charge money. And when I'm working, because my trainings are one-on-one, this is what I do. So one has to earn money to be able to help people. But this is why I also offer these videos on this channel for people that can't afford to do that. And if you listen to the nuggets of information within my videos and you take it to heart and you do the practices and you sit with the Shaktipat sessions and the energy transmissions and you treat yourself as a mystery school, over time you can also get that. It's not about me, oh, making lots of money. That's said by people who want to do this and can't do this, or have some strange belief that there shouldn't be professionals in this work. And it's why I offer these videos for free, for people to also be able to attain this information. See you in another video.